What's good, YouTube family? It's your boy A-Dubs Picks, checking back in with another YouTube video. And in today's video, we're going to do none other than a Western Conference Finals recap. What's next for OKC, how San Antonio got here, and can they win it all, and how they match up versus the New York Knicks. So we're going to go into a Finals preview as well. Kind of pains me to make this video as I am a Thunders fan and the defending champs. We got knocked off in a hard-fought series, hard-fought Game 7, so I've been kind of putting this one off. I went back and rewatched Game 7, and it didn't feel any better watching it again. The same things that I knew were true happened the same way and when I on the rewatch. So I've been kind of putting this one off, but here we are. I get to talk about what's next for the Thunder, how the Spurs got here, and if they can win it all. So that's what we'll dive into in today's video. I don't want to spend too much time on the Thunder. I could probably make a whole video about them and talk about them for a while, but really I just want to talk about how they fell short, what needs to happen, and, give props to the Spurs. So we'll do exactly that. I mean, Game 7, bro, absolutely banger all the way around. Game 7 was amazing. Game 1 and Game 7 were great. We had the double overtime Game 1, and then Game 7 was great. 2 through 6, we had some mix and match, some good basketball in there, a strategic on both sides, and to have a caliber of these two teams going head to head for 7 games, we can't really chalk it up to blowouts because it was still a great series of basketball no matter what happens in those 2 through 6. So a lot went on through these 7 games. I mean, this was a legacy defining game for both teams, for players on both sides, and ultimately what we saw was the Spurs were the better team throughout the whole thing. They had their moments where they look like the much better team, and they had their moments where they had to navigate through the Thunder being the Thunder that everyone knows and loves. So, well, I guess not everyone loves the Thunder. That was a bad take on my part. Absolutely. I mean, everyone absolutely hates the Thunder, but whatever. Maybe we'll start to get some love now that we're not top of the food chain anymore. Maybe they'll start to come back to life and realize the brand of basketball that's going on in OKC is great, and there's nothing wrong with how we play. But the haters, whatever, we can chalk that up. So what went wrong for OKC in this series? The first thing that I want to start with, and this is not why we lost the series. There's other reasons as to why we lost this series, but the first thing I wanted to talk about as to why we lost this series is because the Spurs did a great job on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, straight up, he was held to sub 20 points multiple times, or at least once, and in his previous series he was too. But Shai was kind of a no-show, it felt like. Game 1, 24 points, and we lost in double overtime. Game 2, we got it done. He looked all right. Game 3, looked all right. I mean, he just was all right during the series. And this is the best basketball player in the world. For the last 2 seasons, he's been that. And for him to just be all right out in every game but Game 7, it felt like we were missing that spark, that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander spark. And it's not really a knock on Shai, and it's not the reason we lost, but it's more a credit to the San Antonio Spurs as them doing a good job. They let him get the switches, and they let him get the matchups, and he was able to hunt Champagnie. He was able to get the Keldon Johnson matchup. He was able to go from Castle to Carter Bryant. I mean, Shai did a good job navigating through that and hunting the matchups that he wanted, and we put him in a good spot. But the Spurs played such good defense and doubled everything. I'm on the catch. Like, he was getting doubled. He was getting forced into these bad spots. We saw a lot of bad turnovers from Shai. A lot of time, I'm just like thinking, like, what is he doing right now? And Shai said it in his post-game conference that he did not live up to his own expectations. He's got work to do, and the whole season was a failure because he did not get back to the point that he wanted to get to. He wanted to defend that title. And part of the reason it was so hard on Shai is because we were missing our 2 secondary ball handlers, our primary ball handlers when Shai does not have the ball. If Shai has the ball, he's obviously the primary ball handler, the best player on the court every time he's on the court. But we're missing Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell for a majority of this series. And to not have those guys really, really hurts this team because we can't rely on, I mean, the role of Cason Wallace is to not be a primary ball handler. The great series from Cason Wallace. I've always loved him. He had a bad finals last year, in my opinion, but it doesn't take away from the great player that he is. But we can't ask Cason Wallace to be a primary ball handler. The Thunder can't ask Lou Dort to be a primary ball handler. They can't ask these other guys, Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe, nowhere to be found. Caruso, not a primary ball handler. We were asking these guys that have never had a role of being a ball handler in our offense to step up and be a ball handler while Shea is getting fucking football tackled in the corner, which I love, not complaining about the physicality of the Spurs. Also am a fan of that and how they defended there. But when Shea's off the floor and we're relying on Cason Wallace to be the primary ball handler, who's never had that role in his NBA career with the Thunder, absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare for the Thunder. I mean, we were dead. We were dead. Every time Shea was off the floor or couldn't get his looks, we were dead. And it's because we were missing the two guys that were supposed to step up and take over these games. AJ Mitchell is the secondary ball handler to this team. Jalen Williams, this is an all-NBA, all-NBA, all-star, all-defensive. This guy was like a top 15 player in the world coming into the season pre-injuries. This is the same guy that when Shea was getting hounded last year, dropped 40 in the finals to help us, will us to a win in a game. This is not someone that we're just missing. And I'm not making excuses for the injuries. I'm saying that the reason it was tough for us is because we were missing these two guys. These two guys meant so much to this team because Shea was getting limited. The way they guarded Shea was amazing. So we need two guys to step up and be primary ball handlers for us, and they're gone. Nowhere. I mean, hurt, injured. So it's not an excuse, the injuries are not. And like I said, the way they defended Shea is props, but the Thunder needed these two guys. They needed these two guys desperately to be able to win this series. So for them to push this to 7 and have a chance to win this and really be 3 minutes away from going to the NBA Finals again and possibly repeating as champions, be that close. We're that close to repeating. One bad quarter away from repeating or having a chance to repeat. And we're missing two of our guys that mean so much to this team. Probably our second and fourth best player. It stings a little bit. And we're getting a lot of overreactions. We're getting a lot of Chet Holmgren needs to be gone. We're getting a lot of Giannis talks. We're getting a lot of these big trade talks that people are overreacting to. And I understand overreactions pay the bill. I mean, pay the bills. Like, I don't get many views, right? But if I said some nut ass shit and posted it, guess what's going to get the views? That's not what I'm planning to do. That's not the goal. But the Thunder don't need to overreact. That's not something that we need to do. Because we were so close and we were missing these two guys, it just feels like it feels like a failure. Because, I mean, we were injured all season too. We can't forget that. Injuries all season. And this people are going to see this and they're going to come at me and say, well, Tyrese Halliburton got injured in Game 7. What if that happened? I'm not making excuses for the injuries or making I'm giving a reason as to why I feel like we lost. Yes, those two people, those very, very good players, mean a lot to us. And if they are on the floor, we probably win this series. And you can say the same thing about Halliburton. That's cool. I don't believe that, but that's cool. That's cool. It just stings to know that the Thunder were that close to being able to try and repeat. And the Spurs did such a good job defending Shea, and we missed our guys. We had Caruso and others trying to be something they weren't so we could get this win. And they did their best. Cason Wallace played amazing in Game 7. Was the only help Shea got. And that kind of leads me into my next point. Another not reason why we lost this series, but another player that was actually bad. Like, Shea wasn't actually bad. He just didn't live up to the standards that he has set for himself. Another player that was actually bad during the course of this series was Chet Holmgren. I mean, it was very, very evident that something was not right. I mean, in Game 6, he came out firing. He hunted the matchup. You could see the Chet Holmgren of old in Game 6. That was the only game where it felt like we had Chet Holmgren playing for us. Regardless of his defensive impact, his offensive impact, nothing was the same for Chet Holmgren this whole series. He took himself out of the series. And the way Chet Holmgren played, and that whole, from Game 1 to Game 7 was just absolutely abysmal. And he hurt his team by the way he played. He played so bad that it was selfish. It was almost selfish to see how bad Chet Holmgren was. For him to go out there and take 2 shots in a Game 7 when we needed him the most because Shea was getting locked up and we didn't have 2 of our other guys that were going to put the ball in the hoop, Chet Holmgren shot 2 shots and he let the Thunder down. And this is not a knock on Chet Holmgren as a player. This is a knock on him in this series specifically because he was bad. And it was so bad that it was selfish. It infuriates me how good of a player Chet Holmgren is and how bad he was in every game of this series outside of a little stretch in game 6. It's not fair to the rest of his teammates the way that he played. And Chet is one of my guys. I'm rocking with Chet. I know this was a bad series. I know this is not who Chet Holmgren is. But whatever happened in this series was so bad that it infuriates me and it infuriates the rest of the world. And the rest of the world's seen this. And they're overreacting to it now. Now we need to trade Chet Holmgren. Now we need to do this and do that. Now we need to go get Giannis. Chet Holmgren's not ready. This is a player that is All-NBA. He was just All-NBA this season. All-NBA defense this season. All-Star this season. Like, this is a great player. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander said it best in his post-conference was the fact that this is the worst version of Chet Holmgren we'll ever see because Chet is always striving to get better. He's come in, he's got better at shooting the three, he's got better in the paint, he's gotten bigger. I mean, Chet has made improvements every single day to be the NBA player that he is. I'm not taking anything away from him as a player overall, and I don't think we need to trade him. I don't think we need to get rid of him. I don't think none of that. I think we need to run it back with this same team. But the fact that Chet Holmgren was this bad is sickening because we needed someone to help Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in that Game 7. And this guy had less shots than Kenrich Williams and played 10 times more minutes than Kenny Hustle. He had 2 shots in a Game 7. Kenny Hustle, Kenrich Williams. Don't even know why this guy's in the game. No disrespect to Kenny. This is Game 7. No disrespect. But I don't even know why he's in the game. And my second best player, our second best player, the team's second best player has 2 shots. 2 shots. And is getting fucking pummeled in the rim. And it's just doing nothing. It's selfish to see that type of performance from Chet Holmgren. And it does make me question, like, what is he doing? Is Wemby that intimidating to him? Because I've never bought into the Wemby versus Chet thing like other people have. And now I got to open that book. Do I need to buy into that? Is Chet scared of Wemby? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered about Chet Holmgren and how he played in this series because it was absolutely abysmal. But do I think we need to trade him? Hell no. No. I'd rather trade every other person on the roster before I got rid of Chet Holmgren, despite how bad he was in this series. There's no need to trade Chet Holmgren if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's a major overreaction. And once again, that goes back into people saying whatever they need to get clicks. That's how you pay the bills. I get it. I won't do that. I'm going to go against the grain. Chet Holmgren is the farthest thing from tradable on this team. I'd rather trade every single person outside of Shai than Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren's here to stay. He'll be here. Probably he'll retire a Thunder. Jalen Williams too. I don't want to trade him despite the injuries. Not buying into him being injured for a season. He still played 40 plus games for us. Things happen, and obviously if he was out there, I think we win. But nonetheless. Now let's talk about one person that does need to be traded or let go or not re-sign. And this is a player that has stepped up in big moments for us, but it's always driven Thunder fan crazy. And I don't want to make this video all about the Thunder. We are going to talk about the Spurs and what they did to win this series and build this team. And, you know, we're going to keep diving into the Spurs. So I don't want to keep going on the Thunder too much. This is the last topic I'll cover about the Thunder in this series and what's next for them. So Lu Dort. I mean, this is a guy that's, like I said, stepped up, hit big shots for us before. All-NBA defense, great player. He just doesn't fit who we are anymore. It's time to let Lu Dort go. He takes some of the most outrageous, dumbest, stupidest threes I've ever seen in my life. And in Game 7, he's taking step backs from the fucking hash mark. Damn near at the logo, taking step back threes, bro. And then the next possession down, shoots another one. We are trying to we are playing terrible in the first quarter. And we got Lu Dort starting the game. I don't even know if he deserves any minutes at all. And we still are starting him like absolutely abysmal. All series. He's still in the starting lineup. We're still struggling with him on the court. We take him off, put him back on, and he shoots 2 dumbass shots. It almost felt like he had a Spurs jersey on at some point during this series. That's how bad he was. And it wasn't a good matchup for Lou Dort. We don't need Lou Dort's defense to guard anybody else on the floor. We can guard Castle. We can let him do whatever he wants the whole series. Castle can shoot from out there. We'll let it happen. Castle can get downhill. We're gonna have guys there. It's okay we don't need Dort to guard Harper. We don't need Dort to guard Champagnie. We didn't need Dort's defense the whole series. Dort was the worst player on the floor every time he was on the floor. And to keep throwing him out there was an absolutely it was a mistake by Dagnall. Every time something went wrong, it was because of Lou Dort, it felt like. And they took him off and then would put him right back on. And now we start the game terrible, right? We make a run in the second half. We come back out. Lou Dort is on the court again. We made all these other changes. Lou Dort is on the court again, and they go on a run and win this game at the beginning of the third quarter because now they're up 15. Because Lou Dort is on the floor. Like, he was that bad that I'm blaming most of this shit on Lou Dort. He had 5 games this series with a minus plus 9, or a minus 9 plus minus. He had 1 game. The most minutes he played in this series was... Let me pull it up. He played an average of 20 minutes this series and had an average plus minus of minus 9. He was minus 9 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 7 games. He was minus 9 or higher. He is giving the other team 10 points a game by being on the floor. He shot 1 game. The most minutes he played in this series was 20. I'm not even meaning the box score, Raj. I just want to paint the picture of how bad he was for us during this series. He played 23 minutes in 1 game. You know what he did? He didn't shoot. He shot 1 shot. The most minutes he played in the series was 23. He shot 0 or 1 shot, 0 for 1. Another game he played 23 minutes. The game 6. He shot 2 for 11. 2 for 11, dude. He had 1 game with 0 points, 3 points, 5. Just absolutely abysmal the whole series. And he was shooting straight bullshit. So yes, we need to make changes. We're not going to be able to run it back exactly how we are, especially because our salary is so diabolical. Like, we're one of the most expensive teams in NBA history. And we have our 3 guys locked in. Lou Dort's got to go, though. There's nothing we can do to keep him. If we keep him, that means drafting at our 2 picks, our lottery pick, and then at 17. If we make selections there, we hurt ourselves even more. Lou Dort has to go. Hartenstein is another free agent. Hopefully we can get him back on a deal that he is willing to kind of take a little bit of a pay cut on, because he means a lot to this team. But if I feel like he's replaceable. We can go get Heinz Steinbach. We could go get some of these other guys in the draft that we can implement pretty quickly into a playmaker role. Should we trade for Boozer? I mean, those are all crazy. If the Thunder were to make a splash and do some crazy trade, I don't want the Giannis trade. I don't want to get rid of Chet. I don't want to get rid of J-Dub. I don't want to get rid of those guys. I want to make a trade up to 3 to get Boozer. Will that happen? I don't know. I mean, we have the assets to do it, but I don't know. All in all, the Thunder were in this series shorthanded. Didn't play good really in any game. Lost the double overtime thriller. Killed us. I mean, no team is ever going to... This is stupid. I was going to say no team will ever win if they lose Game 1 and Game 7. Obviously, whoever loses Game 7 is never going to win the series. But it just felt like a bad Thunder performance. And I'm excited for what's next for this team. I believe in them still. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still going to be the best player in the world next year. I mean, he's only gotten better every year of his career. Jalen Williams will be fully healthy. I pray that he is fully healthy. AJ Mitchell still on a hell of a deal. Chet Holmgren is only going to get better. So this Thunder team will be back. We're going to see a lot of our 3 versus their 3 for the next couple years. This felt like a series where this could be the next couple years of our lives, is watching these guys go at it in the Western Conference Finals because of how dominant both of these teams are. Yeah, just tough, man. Tough to think about. I've just kind of been sitting in my sorrows. So many trolls, bro. Because I like to talk my shit, bro. I talk my shit about my team all the time, and I post support, and it's all hoop based. It's not anything personal until people make it that way, of course. But I like to troll, especially when it comes to my team, because I am passionate about this. Y'all just listen to me. Fuck, I was yelling at the damn camera and mic. My nana's probably in the living room listening, like, what the fuck's he doing? But yeah, man, I'm got so many trolls hitting me up. People tagging me and shit. People I don't even know, and they're like tagging me, trolling me, and I got, dude, it's just tough. It's tough. All good though. It's all in good fun, and I love it. Got to be able to take it if you're gonna dish it. So the trolls are getting to me though. I'm just kind of like want to throw my phone in the lake. When we lost, I told my homie Zach, like, I wish I didn't have to look at my phone right now. I wish I could toss it. And he was like, nah, you just gotta take it. You just gotta take it, eh? And I was like, I guess so. But nonetheless, great basketball. Nothing but respect for the Spurs as a Thunder fan. Love Game 7. Got to watch it with people I love. My homies came over. My cousins were here. They were, all them little TikTok kids were fucking rooting for the Spurs. They had the Wemby jersey I bought on for my little brother. I bought that a while ago, but I was getting trolled. My homies were rooting for the Thunder just so, so they could see my team win. So it was cool, man. It was all great fun. Yeah, and that kind of brings me to the next point, right? We get to talk about the San Antonio Spurs and how good of a team they really are and how much respect basketball fans should have for this franchise. Because for me, the Spurs represent a franchise that always figures it out. No matter how far they fall, they always get back to a point to where they're at right now. And a little bit of that can be accredited to luck, right? They got Tim Duncan at 1. They won the lottery for Duncan. Greatest power forward of all time, in my opinion. Got lucky with that. Hit the lottery again. They get this fucking 7'5" demon. Got a little lucky with that. They jumped a lot to get Vic. All great though. I mean, I don't know if they jumped that much actually to get Vic. I think they might have been like third, but anyways, they jumped, got Vic, and that guy's a demon, dude. I mean, the things that he did to the Thunder in this series, I've never seen another person do to our team. Like, Halliburton wasn't doing this. Like, nobody has ever. I mean, I guess LeBron did this shit back to us back in the day when I was real young. He absolutely shitted on us. I remember watching that at my Uncle Ollie's crib. We ain't had no, yeah, bro, that was, LeBron shitted on us. But, I mean, Wemby is just a different breed. To have him on the team and the passion, I mean, he was literally in tears after Game 7, like running around the court at all 7-5 of them, as goofy as can be, upset and like I'm visibly overridden with passion and like happiness to be able to get this done. And to see that and the intensity that he brings to every game is amazing. Wembanyama is one of one. There's never been anything like him in the past, and I don't know if we'll ever have anything like this guy again in the future. Growing up, I mean, the kids nowadays are going to want to be like Wemby. Like, that's what they want to do. But, I mean, the Spurs have come from the bottom of the bottom. They get Castle. They hit on Castle. One of the worst draft classes we've seen in a long time. The first three, Ricochet, Sarr, and Reed Shepherd, trash. I mean, just straight up. None of them are good. I'm not out on any three of those guys yet. I still want to give them the time that they deserve. But ultimately, they have not had good NBA careers so far. The Spurs take Castle. And if you remember, no one knew anything about what that draft class was going to look like. There was a lot of question marks anywhere. There was no set in stone order. So for the Spurs to take Castle and Castle be this good and just hold Shai Gilgeous-Alexander the way they did, or the way that he did, and amazing. I mean, just great by the Spurs organization to, once again, build through the draft and get a guy like Castle when no one expected that. I knew Castle was one of my favorite prospects, and I knew he was going to be good. For him to be this good is absolutely outrageous to me. And then they get Harper. No matter what, Dylan Harper was the second overall pick last year. No doubt about it. So for them to get Harper and pair them alongside of Fox, who they also, I mean, Fox wanted to go to San Antonio. There was one spot. I mean, Fox was dying in Sacramento. Had no business being able to call his shots and say where he wanted to go. Sacramento gave him that benefit of doubt and sent him exactly where he wanted to go. They get Castle, they get Harper, they get Fox, and everyone's like, how is this going to work? It works perfectly. The way that those three play together, they all defer to one another, but they all know that they can go get their own bucket. I mean, Dylan Harper hit one of the biggest shots of this series. I think it was after the Cornet block. He comes down, boom, left, Dylan Harper left, bow, drills it. And it crushed me. I felt it in my soul that we just died off that Dylan Harper three ball. This guy's a rookie, by the way. Coming off an injury, too. It was a question if he was going to play in some of these games. So that tandem that they put together through the draft and through trading for Fox, and then you get Wemby. You keep guys around. Sixth man of the year, Keldon Johnson, who wasn't particularly good in this series, but did enough in Game 7. 2 threes in the fourth quarter to win it. It just shows the resilience of not only the players on the court, but the front office and the Spurs franchise as a whole. That nitty-gritty, get the job done no matter what type of deal. So huge shout out to the Spurs. And for this team to go from it was 35 wins last season to the NBA Finals after beating one of the greatest teams we've seen in a long time in the Oklahoma City Thunder, it's amazing. It's just straight resilience from this team. And this team is so young. We will not see them go anywhere for the next couple of years. Like, this will be the team of the future. I mean, there's a team of now and there's a team of the future. I have nothing but respect for this Spurs team. I really didn't think they were good enough. I didn't think they were ready enough to beat us. And they went out there and they got it done. And they beat us despite our injuries, despite who we had on the floor, despite the game plans and rotation struggles that we had, despite, Chet Holmgren not being his best because of the Spurs defense. They went out there and they got the job done. And it felt like in Game 7 from the very tip, they were in control the whole time. The Thunder had a lead for maybe a few minutes. And when I went back and watched Game 7 again, I had this feeling in my head like, dude, we were never winning this game. We were never winning this game. And while watching it, my fandom was like, oh yeah, we're winning. Let's go. I was hyped. But rewatching it, I was like, wow, they were in control this whole time. And Champagnie, gave us 20 on 6 threes. That's kind of the Thunder game plan, is to let a guy like Champagnie beat you. Hopefully he has an off night. He didn't. He burnt us the whole time. It just felt like every time the Thunder made a run, it was just abysmal. Here comes a Lou Dort bomb that he fucking bricked. Or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander starts the bench on the fourth quarter for the first 2 minutes. Why the fuck would he ever be on the court on the bench for 2 minutes? What the fuck is a 2-minute break going to do to the MVP of the league? Nothing. Why is he on the bench? Spurs took advantage of that shit. Wemby picks up his 5th foul with 7 minutes to go. We did not go in his chest one time. Shea deferred from Wemby. They took Wemby out for a minute, put him right back in, and we still didn't attack him. It's like we forgot that he was the reason they were winning this game, and we could have fouled him out if we just went in his chest. He's that good of a defender. I don't know if he would have fouled, but let's fucking try it, bro. We seen what the Timberwolves did. They went at him every time. So the Spurs didn't let that bother him. Wemby went out there, played the same way, had the same defensive impact, scared our guys to fucking death. And they stood true to the team that they were and showed so much resilience to win this game. So absolutely I loved it. I loved the hoops, man. It felt like I was a kid again watching, NBA basketball at the peak. And it just, to see that, I was passionate about it, win or lose, for my team. I was passionate about the hoops that we got to see because I know how great this San Antonio team is. And I'm not going to be forced into hating them, right? The rivalries and they hate us. Well, cool. I'm not, as a fan of basketball, going to take away from these guys that are younger than me. Harper, Wemby, Castle, these guys are younger than me in age, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to hate on these guys because they just beat my team. They are really good at basketball and deserve so much respect and props as they travel to New York and New York travels to them for the NBA Finals. Final thing we'll touch on is the NBA Finals and the matchup that we're going to see. So obviously the Knicks kind of smoked the Spurs in the regular season. NBA Cup revenge for the Spurs. I think it's a tough matchup for the Spurs. A lot of people are on the Spurs train and they're not hopping off. They're going to ride this thing until the wheels fall off, and that's all good and dandy, but the wheels might fall off now. If I had a way that I was leaning in this series, I think I'm leaning towards the Knicks. The Knicks are playing. Of course they've had over a week break now. It's been a while since they played basketball. Maybe it killed some of the momentum, but I'm not gonna forget the 11-game win streak that just went on with a point differential of 25 points. Absolutely smoking teams. Yes, the East is weak. No one compares to the Spurs, but this team is playing some of their best basketball right now. If they can come out and keep that alive, they will continue to do and continue to do that. It'll be amazing to see, and I think they have a chance of beating this Spurs team because of the way they match up too. I'm interested to see how they start off on Wemby. And I hope they get it right early because you can't afford to have a matchup game in the NBA Finals, right? Where you're trying to pan things out and trying to match things up. And how do we guard Wemby without Castle killing us or without Harper? You can't really afford that going against this Spurs team because they have so many guys that will get the job done. Hopefully they have something in place and planned out that will work in game one of the finals, and they can make the Spurs make adjustments. Even if they win, even if the Spurs win, they don't feel comfortable with how game one went because the Knicks made it tough on them and they have to make adjustments. If you can win game one matchup wise, that'd be huge. So I think we see a lot of Anunoby on Wemby to start. Cat will float around and go elsewhere. I think we see a lot of double big lineup. I think we'll see some Mitchell Robinson and Cat on the floor at the same time. The Spurs pulled that out in the Western Conference Finals with Cornet and Wemby, but I don't think that's something they go to again. And that's another thing. This Knicks team is deep. If the Thunder and Knicks have one thing in common, it's their depth. The Spurs didn't have that in this series. Regardless of what you tell me, they're not a super deep team. Like, they have good players. The people that they put on the floor are good, but they were almost playing like a six-man rotation against the Thunder. Like, their six-man of the year was so bad at some points that he wasn't even on the court. It was Dylan Harper, and that's it. It was their five starters plus Dylan Harper. So it'll be interesting to see because the Knicks are a deep team. They have guys that can come off the bench and get it done. Though the Knicks are super deep, they have guys that can come off the bench. And if that depth holds up and if they stay healthy, unlike the Thunder, I do lean towards New York in this series. But if San Antonio wins it, I won't be surprised at the same time because of how good Wemby is and his surrounding company that can play, that does play. So super, super excited to see the finals. I don't have a horse in the race. I'm not rooting for either team. I'm not going to bet money lines or, futures on any teams. But I do think that it'll be a fun series regardless. And to see the Knicks in the finals is going to be fun. So if you guys made it this far in the video, I think it's a long one. I've been talking for a while now. Kind of full podcast episode. Cover everything, how bad the Thunder were, how good the Spurs were, what's next for these teams, how they got here. I appreciate you guys tapped in with me, man. It means a lot. If you made it this far in the video, drop a little comment or some fire emojis. It don't matter, bro. Appreciate y'all again. I'm out.